Hi everyone. So this video is going to be a little bit different than my videos about low carb and keto. It's going to be, from the title, it's going to be about an experience that I had that really shaped me to be the person that I am today and gave me a lot of strength so that I could start my own business and just be able to be a strong person. And the video title is What It's Like to Be Legally Blind. I was legally blind for 2 years, and it is the result of a disease called Keratoconus. I was diagnosed with Keratoconus at the age of 13. And teenage years brought on a lot of different type of contacts, different type of struggles with my eyes, and some sad moments. I remember having to wear these contacts that were hard contacts and then piggyback of hard and soft, and just having some painful times with my eyes. And I can remember going into a doctor's office, and I think I was about 17, and my vision was starting to get really bad. And he basically said in that office that there's not much we can do for you. Your eyes is deteriorating. It's getting worse. And I just left that office and I was crying. I was crying so much. And I was crying because of so many different reasons. I was crying because I was at that age where I was thinking about going to university. And I was worried and concerned that a lot of the dreams and goals I have, I wasn't going to be able to accomplish them. I was worried about going off to school by myself. I wanted to go to university. I wanted to experience going off and being by myself. I wanted to become a lawyer. And he was basically saying, there's nothing more we can do for you. Your vision is getting worse, and we don't know how far it's going to go. We don't know if it's going to lead to blindness. And I was just walking to take the train, and I was so overwhelmed with tears. I was just crying and crying, and it felt like all my dreams and everything was just slipping away from me right before my very eyes. At the age of 17, my vision was getting blurry. So I would have moments where I literally was watching the TV and I would see just like white images in front of my eyes and see blurriness. So I knew that it was getting worse. This blurriness continued. I finished high school and then decided that I wasn't going to go away to university. Decided I wanted to go into becoming a child and youth worker. So instead, I decided I was going to go to college. So I went to college to do my child and youth worker, and my vision, it was getting worse, but I was still able to go to classes and get the work done that I needed to get done, and made some great friends. And the vision got really, really bad. It got to some points where, and I wasn't telling people how bad my vision was. It's not that I was ashamed, but I never wanted to be looked at as disabled. My vision was getting so bad where I could no longer see faces. I would just see silhouettes. And people just became more like silhouettes that were walking around and just blur of silhouettes. I did take some time off, and then I did return to school. I took brief time off and returned to school. This time I returned with some assistance. I actually went to the office for individuals with disability and asked for some help, because even coming to school was becoming difficult because I was taking the bus. And I used to sit at the front of the bus and say to the driver, please let me know. And I would tell them I stop. Please let me know this stop. Please say that loud. That was before they had where they would just announce it with an automatic voice would announce it. I would say to the driver, you have to say my stop. And I wouldn't say I'm blind or anything. I would just say that. And there were several occasions that the driver forgot. And I would be on the bus, and there'd be some time where I'd be like, this is taking way too long. Why does it feel like the ride is so long? And then I would say to the driver, excuse me, my stop is, did we pass it? And he said, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. And you know what that meant? It meant I literally had to stay on the bus. And when I stayed on the bus, I would be so nervous because I would then have to tell the driver about my impairment. Because I would say to him, I have to stay on this bus until it goes back to the station. Because what would happen is the bus driver would then want to take a break. And when everyone obviously should be off the bus by then because they're going back to the station. And I would then have to reveal that I cannot just be let off here. I have to go back to the station with you on the bus because I'm visually impaired. And that happened to me several times. And as my vision was getting worse, I was feeling a little bit less safe about actually taking the bus. So I had to go and let them know at the school. And what they would do was they provided taxi service. So they would give funding so that I would be able to take a taxi to school and then take a taxi back home, which was great. It was really, really helpful. Sometimes I still take the bus though, because I'm someone that likes to push out of my limits. So sometimes I would take it still. But it was great to have that service. They helped me a lot. I even got a program where I could install it onto my install it onto my computer. And instead of having to type, I would just have to speak into my computer and it would write out everything for like projects. So I would just have to dictate to it and it would just write out everything for me. So the services were great and they're there to be able to tap into. It's just, I had to get past that not wanting to ask for help or not wanting to let other people know that I had a limitation with my vision. I had to get past that and then ask for the services because I didn't want to tell people that. I didn't want to be treated differently. But then I started realizing that I needed the help, so I had to tap into that. But then my vision got so bad that I had to take a break. I had to take 2 years off school. It had gotten so bad that I couldn't see. It was just complete blur that I was seeing. I was legally blind. I could only, I was seeing whiteness, blur, and sometimes colors. So if there was like a bright red light flashing, I would be able to see that the light was red. So I could be able to see that, but I definitely was just seeing silhouettes of people. And I was just seeing majority of just white. Then I was put on the list for cornea transplant. So what keratoconus does, it actually changes the shape of your cornea and makes it a cone shape. Some people have keratoconus and it doesn't get to the point where they actually need a transplant. They can work well with certain types of contacts, especially the ones that is a hard and soft combination. And then some people have it more severe, which that's what I had, which led to me, my vision getting so bad that I had to have a transplant. So I was put on the list and I had to wait those 2 years to get the transplant. So within those 2 years, I literally, my vision was so poor. And I wanted to go to school so badly, but there was also pain associated with that. So I had pushed through the school as far as I could. Even when I had the pain and the discomfort from the sunlight, I had still pushed through. And even when I couldn't see that well, I still pushed through, and had gotten through school quite well. I actually finished my first diploma and gotten it and was going for my second diploma, where then I did take the 2 years off. The pain of it was the sunlight. So I had to be in complete darkness a lot of the times, where I had to make sure that all of the windows and everything was dark because the sunlight hurt my eyes so badly that it actually felt like a burning feeling and burning sensation in my eyes. And then the vision. Going out at nights was my best time. It's so weird to say that because when you can't really see and then you're going out nights, but because of, the limit and there's no sunlight, there's no burning sensation. So it was better. I was more comfortable in going out at nights. I tried not to become a vegetable. There were moments that I was depressed and sad about it, but, I tried to at least put on some sunglasses and go out for a little bit in the daytime. I tried to I listened to a lot of audio tapes and stuff like that. And I tried to do little things. I even tried to still go to the grocery store. Because some of my senses were really strong now. My sense of my hearing was amazing. And sense of smell, so that really helped me. And I would learn to get comfortable in a certain situation. I would go, if I know I was going somewhere, I wasn't really going out with friends a lot, but if I went with a friend here or there and I knew I was going somewhere, I would just say I need to go earlier. And so I'd kind of get there earlier and feel out the area so that I'm comfortable. I remember one time where I was going to this new class and new semester, college, going to this class. And I also like to go to the class early to kind of see where everything is, feel it out. And I never experienced a class where they actually had, you just walk and go into the class. So I went early to go to the class to kind of feel it out, pick where my desk was going to be. But this class, when you entered in, it had 3 little steps. So I walked in, not aware of the steps, and I walked in and I just fell. And I sat there and I cried. It's weird that I can laugh about it now, but I just sat there and I cried. And after I got up, I was so glad that I came early. After I got up, I was just like, I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. Went to the front area, for them to call my cab. I'm going home. Get the cab. They called it. I'm like, okay, I'm going home. Went home. And then I felt all defeated. And I was like, Carrie Ann, so what? You fell. Nobody saw you fall. You didn't expect the steps. You didn't know it was going to be there. Just go back tomorrow. Just go back early tomorrow. At least now you know the steps. And I went back there. I was so happy that I didn't, because I was thinking, I'm just going to get rid of this class. I can't deal with those steps. But I went back and I was so happy that I actually took that class because I ended up loving that class. But yeah, so a part of me wanting to do this video is because my birthday's coming up on Thursday. I am turning the big 40. And I was looking back at some of the things that really made me who I am today. And as difficult as it was to lose my vision and not be able to see, it changed me. It made me so much stronger. And this is it's kind of a video of sharing that experience, a story time, but also an encouraging video that don't let anyone put any limitations on you. Don't let anybody call you disabled or place any limitations on you in life. If there's something you want to accomplish, and even if you have certain kind of physical limitations, or any limitations at all that you do have in life, you can rise above it. You can accomplish the things that you want. It might take more time because guess what? I took time off school, but I went back. I went back to finish what I wanted to finish and complete that. So it might take you a little bit more time than someone else to get that accomplished. That's fine. You're not in a race with anyone else. You're not in a competition with anyone else but yourself. So if it takes you a little bit longer, there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. If you have to adjust to meet the needs that you need to adjust for yourself, there's nothing wrong with adjusting, because I had to adjust, right? I pushed myself to where I could, and I pushed myself and I kept pushing myself, because as soon as I got surgery in one eye, because I had to do one eye and then wait to do the other eye, as soon as I could see in one eye, right back to school I went. So don't let anyone label you disabled, call you disabled, or put any type of limitations on your goals and your dreams. You can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish and that you put your mind to. Make sure you want to do it. Because if you want to do it and you set out to do it, you can accomplish it. Because once people found out, some people, because as I said, I did not share my loss of vision. I did not share that I couldn't see. I did not share that with many people. I shared it when I had to share it. But once people heard it, sometimes I could just feel, I could just feel the sadness. And then I could hear it in their voice and hear it in their tone right away when they're pitying me and I could hear it in their voice. And I've even heard people when I was at times, going to school, is it safe for you to be coming? Like, is it safe? Like, how do you get here? And I could hear it in them. And I would just tell myself, and sometimes I'd even say to them that I'm not putting any limitations on myself. I'm just taking my time. I'm taking my time. That's it, to accomplish the things I want to accomplish, because I didn't know if I was going to be visually impaired for life. The doctor had said to me that the transplant might work or it might not work. It could work and it could not. And he was very honest with me that it might not work, because he's saying my eyes and like my body could reject it, and it just didn't work. So I had to prepare my mind to be ready for the fact that if it didn't work, this was going to be my life, right? So I had to prepare myself for that. I didn't want to limit myself based on waiting for surgery. I had to at some point take a break to wait for the surgery, but I kept thinking in my head, if it doesn't work, what am I going to do? I'm still going to finish school. I'm still going to get a job in my field. And that's how I thought. So don't put any limitations on yourself. Take your time, because sometimes you do need a break, and that's okay. It's okay if you need a break. It's okay if you need to pivot. It's okay if you need to change and adjust for you, not for anyone else. Because my adjustment in not going to law school was for me. I have to be honest. My parents never said, oh no, you can't do it. It was for me, where it was like, I want to help people. So my desire to become a lawyer was still to help people. So when I decided I wanted to go into child and youth and social work, it was still my ultimate goal. I wanted to be in a role where I was helping people. So I just pivoted and adjusted to go after that goal and go after that dream. And as soon as I had one eye, not one eye, but one of my eyes got the surgery and finished school, and I got a job with just one of my eyes that had full vision and got a job in my field. So, and that never came up with my employer. As I said, that was not something I shared a lot, but that never came up as to say that, I can only see in one eye, because I was doing great at the job. I had no issues with the job. And then I went to go get the surgery for my second eye. So don't let anyone limit you and put limitations on you. Engage in positive self-talk. Tell yourself you're amazing. Be easy on yourself. Be patient. That is one thing that the most important message I can say is be patient with yourself. Whether you have a disability, or I hate using that word so much, because when people would say that to me, oh, you have a disability or disabled, I would always say, no, I'm abled. I just have some limits. I just have to adjust with some limitations, right? So if you have some limitations, whether it be due to keratoconus or due to any visual impairment or any other kind of physical impairment or mental impairment, just know that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And yes, I still do have keratoconus. Keratoconus is not curable, but they do have ways to manage it, such as the piggyback lens, like specialized contact lenses, and like the surgery, the transplant that I have. I do wear glasses, but I will be switching over to specialized contact lenses for keratoconus that are going to work for my eyes. So yeah, it is a lifelong illness that, you know, they have technology to assist you. And I'm hoping that the technology just gets better and better and better and better, because it has really advanced from the time I was first diagnosed with keratoconus until now. There's been significant advancements. So just hoping that if you do have keratoconus, that you will tap into some of the treatment methods that they have if you haven't already tapped into it, and you probably already have, because I know once you get that diagnosis, you're looking at all the different ways and all the different treatments. I've been there and I know, and I'm actually still there because I am going to have specialized contact lenses for my eyes, but just hoping the technology just gets better. So that was my little bit of wisdom going into my 40s. I hope it was beneficial. It was, you know, what I've learned from my life experience. And I obviously am hoping to learn more as I go through life and grow. But yeah, happy birthday to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are already a subscriber, welcome back. How you doing? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. We post a new video every single Monday, and we'd love to have you a part of the family.